Welcome to Coal Nation, the official podcast of the American Coal Council. Join us as we dive into the critical conversations shaping the future of coal. From industry experts to policymakers, we're exploring coal's essential role in America's energy, economy, and global trade. Whether it's powering communities, driving innovation, or securing strong global economies, coal is at the heart of it all. ACC, proud to be American, proud to be coal. Coal Nation starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Emily Arthun with the American Coal Council, and this is Coal Nation podcast. And I'm so excited to have Ato Andoh, CEO of GCS Fibers, with us today and to talk about their technology and everything that's going on with them. Thanks for being on today, Ato.
The pleasure is mine, Emily. I think I'm more excited than you are.
Well, it's been a few days since I've actually hosted a podcast, so I'm kind of excited about this. So can you talk to me? I know your background, and we've had some different conversations since getting to know you not that long ago.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell our listeners about your extraordinary journey to coal?
All right. Well, at Coal Nation, it's a pleasure to be on your platform today. Hope all of you are doing well. Emily, thanks for the opportunity. I think I've always been a businessman at heart, right? Going back to my military days in the U.S. Marine Corps, as I was preparing to leave the Marine Corps, I started looking at businesses, right? Get into business and charting a new journey or a new adventure, if you will. And many thanks to the Cho family, the two of our co-founders at GCS Fibers, extended an opportunity to me shortly after my Marine Corps service, and I was very, very hesitant. It required some investment in the initial phase at that time, which my wife and I were able to do or make. But even that, I was just an investor. And so there came a time where I became one of the co-founders as well, or one of the founders as well. And they asked me to lead the company. And that is when I thought, this is going to take too much of my time, right? What is coal? I mean, I knew coal to be something that was very, very political, right? To say the least. And so, but then my wife had a dream. My wife had a dream about the business, and that made it comfortable. But that made me comfortable enough to even tell her about the additional offer that the Cho family had made to me. And it's been that. So it's been very good to me. It's truly a divine work for me. And it's made it, because we feel it to be divine, it's made it very easy for me to cope with the challenges that we've endured during the work. So yeah, that's how I find myself into the coal industry, if you will. Yes.
So just going back a little bit, how long were you in the Marine Corps?
I was in the Marine Corps for just a hair under 12 years. I think it was 11 years, 10 months, something like that. Yes. So almost 12 years.
Well, certainly appreciate your service in the Marine Corps. And as we transition, I want to talk about GCS Fibers and just tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing with GCS Fibers, what it does, and kind of maybe your take on the future.
Sure. So GCS Fibers is a manufacturing company, US-based manufacturing company that takes coal ash that we get from coal when power plants or steel mills or the likes, paper mills burn coal to generate their energy. We take the coal ash and we repurpose it into something here that we call mineral fiber. This is like cotton. It's a cotton-like product. And we're able to make our mineral fibers in 6 base forms. We're able to make it in fire retardant form where it doesn't burn. I'm getting a camera for you and the audience. It doesn't burn. It doesn't smoke. Now, the mineral fibers that we make are the very raw materials that are used to manufacture any automobile part, whether it's airplanes, ships, textiles, paper products, carbon fiber precursors, rubber, plastic. All of it comes from this product here, from coal ash. So GCS Fibers has the ability to create as many as 500 jobs, direct jobs per factory, 2,500 indirect jobs as well, while making good use of coal ash. Yes. And so that's what GCS Fibers does. And for our internal operations, we're also able to consume coal, right, as part of our energy stack, right? So our largest capacity manufacturing line or factory can consume 2.5 million tons of coal a year. And so as we continue to scale and grow in the US market and around the world, you can imagine us being able to really make a dent in the domestic US coal production inventory as well.
And so, Otto, when we talk about jobs and growth and what this could look like, not only is it coal ash, but it could be raw coal.
Yes.
As you know, I live in Gillette,
Yes.
Wyoming, and we
Yes.
have all these coal mines around here. Do you foresee your manufacturing that you could be set up in the communities where there's coal and there's coal ash, so you're not transporting it, but you're right in the communities?
That's exactly the case. Yes, that's a model that we are looking to adopt here, where we don't want to be co-located to coal ash landfills, but what we do is we can take a part of our operations that first processes the coal ash into these cylinders. We can co-locate that phase with the ash ponds or landfills, and then make these cylinders on those sites and transport or convey these to a second site that can be within the coal communities, some other areas within the community, so that we can centralize that operation where we then process these cylinders into the fibers. But yes, our model calls for us that suits us best for us to be in coal regions and also areas where there may be coal power plants, active coal power plants, as much as possible. But then, of course, coal ash landfills as well, ash ponds as well.
Sure. So if you could be in Appalachia or the PRB basins or Illinois
Yes.
basin, that would be
Appalachia is no, we have something special for Appalachia. We have something special for that region of our country. They've been devastated, as we all know, with the diminishing activity in the coal sector. And they are always on our hearts and our minds at GCS Fibers, among the other communities there, as we look at entering the US market and deploying our manufacturing facilities across the country.
so. I know that you found a home for your manufacturing in a different country at this time. So do you want
Yeah.
to talk a little bit about like where your business is today
Yeah.
and really, I mean, how important it is to onshore back into the United States?
Yes, ma'am. Well, I would say that we are in an Asian country right now, and we've been itching to get to the U.S. Market or come home. We've been itching to come home. There were some instances, some matters outside of our control that led us, to go offshore. There were times in previous administrations where we felt, that we didn't have a good chance of really getting going here. The environment wasn't, that conducive or that inviting. And so that's what took us offshore. But we are very, very eager and, to come home. We want to bring the impact, the opportunity that we're able to, like our capabilities. Now, we want to bring, GCS's capabilities back home to America and let our own country enjoy these benefits and capabilities that we bring to bear.
And as you and I had talked earlier, it's not a long process. Once you have the funding to be able to bring it back into the States, you can be up and manufacturing in a short period of time.
Yes, we can be operational within 6 months. A GCS factory can be operational within 6 months, where there is an existing facility that we can renovate, right, or repurpose for our use. We don't require big footprints for operations, whereby we have to build a new facility. Depending on the production capacity, it could take us maybe 12 months. With permitting and all those things, our facilities models are very, very simple. And again, we can be operational within 6 months. Within 6 months, yes, we can be up and running.
Pretty short time frame.
Well, we realize the urgency within the market.
Mhm.
Okay. And within the market, we're talking about, let's say, like the current dynamics that we have in our nation, the need for jobs, the need for economic activity, the need for solutions, ready solutions for the coal industry, for the coal power generating industry, for the manufacturing sector. And so we've templated our process and factory setup, factory deployment processes to make sure that we can deploy these factories within short amounts of time. Yes, within short lead times.
Sure. They talk about the short lead time. Time is of the essence, and you talked about coal being political. But I really want to. I'm going to roll back a little bit here and talk about, when somebody brought coal to you outside of the last year and a half, coal's
Yes.
been under scrutiny.
Yes.
Like, talk to me about getting here. How did you come to?
Yes. Yeah. Well, so for us, the invention or the innovation really started from the environmental perspective. We saw, we're looking to find different ways to manufacture pulp, like paper pulp, right? And for our lead researcher scientist, he happened to be at a circus and we saw cotton candy being made. We didn't pay attention, but he took note. And so at that time, we were already kind of researching coal ash, right, to see what we can do with it and things like that, or whether it can be a good candidate for a pulp alternative. And sure enough, I mean, we got back to the lab, threw out some hypotheses and pursued them and realized that, there's good potential, right? And so from the environmental perspective is where we got into this space. Yes, or started the innovation or the pursuit of it. And then it became somewhat strategic. We realized that, okay, we can make something good of coal ash, and then we can impact downstream industries, the manufacturing sector, not just by providing them raw materials, like the pulp or the fiber that we make, but with quality products and fibers that can be used to replace existing alternatives. And so then we saw that, okay, this is real, this can have an impact. And then we said, okay, if we're going to burn coal ash, we are going to create emissions. And so in that case, we need to be able to capture the emissions that we generate, that we create. So therein came the second innovation that we have, the coal power plant greenhouse gas emissions capture that's able to capture up to 96% of CO2. We have that embedded in our manufacturing operations that can be provided to the coal power generating industry as a separate system. It can be retrofitted to existing power plants, even offline power plants that wish to come back online, and of course, integrated into new power plants as well. So it then became more of a strategic project in the sense that we took a look at coal and said, okay, here is this vital energy asset. America has it in abundance, right? More than anybody in the world. And looking at if I can get the best word for this, look at the backlash, right? Or the duress that the industry was under. We thought it to say, okay, how about we address these issues that the industry is facing, right? Those issues being, of course, the greenhouse gas emissions and then the coal ash. And so, that's what we took off on those two tangents, making sure that one, we got the manufacturing innovations well pinned down, and then the complementary emissions capture innovation. And that was really a second thought, okay? Because again, we wanted to have very small adverse impact on the environment. And so that then came in. So we figured we've got this energy, this abundant energy source in coal, and to just throw it away or just give up on it just wasn't an option, right? We don't throw away our child's bicycle just because the tire went flat, right? Or goes flat. No, we fix it, right? And this is America. What innovation can we not come up with? For me, I was born in Ghana, right, in West Africa, and coming to the U.S. as a child in Ghana, you think you hear America, and everything is possible. Everything is possible. That's what America means to me, right? So then here we are, first-hand experience, for me, seeing a society or a country looking to give up on coal. So a lot of our motivation has been on that premise. Not that we want to save coal, or the coal industry, no. How can we address the issues that have beset that industry and that people are using to say that we should forget that a critical asset? So for us, it's bigger than a business. It's bigger than a company. We believe that we need to be strong as a nation. It's hard to do that without sufficient energy, affordable energy. And you just don't throw away, critical assets. And so all of that went into planning and the modeling of the company, and the design of the innovation as well, and the deployment of the innovation as well, to make sure that we can do many things that can appease both sides of the aisle, right? Can appease both sides of the aisle. So when we hear all of the above, all of the above, we hope that it can be sincerely practiced. And not just, we don't hear it much these days, because efforts are so much bent, on diminishing the impact of coal, at least domestically. And we want to help to, to reverse that trend and make sure that the power plants have the innovations that they need to consume more coal, right? And to generate more electricity. okay, and thereby consume more coal. And then, of course, the downstream industries have the high quality products and raw material that we need to manufacture any number of downstream products as well. Yes.
What is the coolest thing you just showed your fiber, and I think that's just amazing. What is the coolest thing that to date has been made out of your fiber?
Okay. So we know that, yeah. Well, I'll tell you an idea that some of our team members came up with. We know that we have like regular wood pulp that's used in packaging of food, as in like when we buy the hamburgers, like it comes in a pack
Mhm,
and there's some
mhm.
kind of styrofoam or something in
Yeah.
there. Yes. And so there are some, we said on our team that, okay, well, that's something else that we can, add to our product line. I said, no, 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 no. We wouldn't use coal ash for that. But that's the most off the wall idea that I've heard as far as the application, the applicability of our fibers, but being able to use fiber as precursors for carbon fiber, right? That is a big deal. That is a big deal for us to the extent that we can impact so many industries in that regard. The cost for carbon fiber is so prohibitive. Precursors, just because of the process, right? The process is very laborious. And right now, we can make carbon fiber precursors, or our fibers can be used as precursors to make carbon fiber. And to think that carbon fiber is what, 5 times stronger than steel, 5 times lighter than steel, the benefits all are just so substantial that we want to make sure that we can make it more affordable and more accessible. you know yes. And so that's one application that we're very, very excited about. Yes.
Well, I jumped ahead a little bit because I mean you were holding your fiber, and I wanted to ask that question, and not forget.
Sure.
But I really want to go back to. I mean, you're a Marine. You're very proud of the United States. You want to help these communities, and for me, I'm proud of this industry. And the story that you're telling about being environmentally aware and being able to show that coal is part of the solution
Yes.
is incredibly important because, as with everything, you talked about evolution, our industry has evolved. And the thing that we need to understand is we're not the coal companies, the coal business, the coal industry that we're portrayed as. It's not 1950. We're not standing our coal plants up anymore. They've been retrofitted, they've been
Yes.
changed. We have environmental protections in place.
Yes.
Our coal mining is done more efficiently and safer every day. In fact, this last year was the safest on record in the coal industry. And I think when you talk about that and have that innovation and technology is a path forward,
Yes.
we're doing that. And so,
Yes.
how exciting is that to be on
Yeah.
the edge of this industry leading the charge?
Yes. Well, I'll say that we are among the pack, right? We are among the pack of innovations that are contributing to these great results. So, I mean, in our journey at trade shows and events and conferences and traveling through the country and the world, you see so many other innovations where you say, wow, look at those direct carbon to energy solutions, right? I mean, you sit back and you say, wow, I mean, people are doing awesome things. So innovation is it for us. And no, you're right. People need to get out of that mindset that coal is so coal. We are so in the coal of the 1800s and the early 1900s. Things have changed, right? The industry is not ignorant, right, to the requirements of today's society or the global environment. And so we really need to defrost ourselves of the old images and understandings that we have of the industry. Things have changed. Things have changed that are not just helping the industry, but even helping related industries as well. Okay. All because of coal. Yeah. Yeah. I
This
agree.
morning, I was writing a article for a magazine, and I was really celebrating our country's 50th birthday
Yeah.
coming up
Hmm.
and how coal has been every
Yeah.
step of the way. But it was really it's more of a recognition that you talked about being from Ghana. You've obviously been where your manufacturing plants are in Asia. When we think about how the United States can help other countries lift themselves up, I mean, we call it energy poverty, however you want to phrase it,
Uh-huh.
to give these other countries the economic
Yes.
advantages that we've experienced. What does that mean to you that
Yeah.
we could be part of that?
I tell you we are actually working with we've been engaged with the World Bank right over
Hmm.
the years for this very purpose where we can provide energy, affordable energy to the developing world. All right. And so that is such a big deal. I mean, as I said earlier, and you know best, energy is everything. Energy is everything. And these countries, how are they going to truly develop, right? When they have to start as a such higher curve as it deals with the expenditure, right? And the capital outlay for energy infrastructure. But if they can use coal to ramp up their development, right? Then there's less reliance on the developed world, right? The issue of aid and grants and all that kind of stuff, all of that will be reduced, right? So there'll be some cost savings there. So if we can help them with technology innovation to develop their economies and their standard of lives and living and all that kind of stuff, America and the rest of the West will inherently benefit. Okay, be it through deliveries of coal, and then of course the reduction in the aids that we extend to these countries ever so often. And so with innovations like what we have at GCS with the emissions capture and the mineral fiber, all of that can be weaved into such energy solutions, right, for these developing countries.
It is a fact, and I think that the innovation and the technology in this industry is truly astounding, and for us to be able to pass that along
Yeah.
to other areas would be incredibly heart-lifting.
Yes, ma'am. Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well said.
Yeah.
Yes.
I wanna talk to you a little bit because you're not the only Marine, in your business model, correct?
No, 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 no. Yeah, we have several Marines, we have Navy, personnel, we have Army personnel. I just don't know how it turned out this way, but yeah, within our management team, we have a few military folks.
Yeah.
Yes, 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 indeed.
Well, I wanted to give your other, partners in crime, a
Uh-huh.
shout out if you wanted to give them a
Thank you.
moment of glory.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, I'm into JD, Larry, Troy. Who else am I forgetting? We have some investors. A good amount of our member owners are also military vets when active. I just don't know how it turned out this way. It wasn't by design, for sure. And so, folks, team, great. I mean, highest level of appreciation to all of you. You've made this thing happen. We have, quite a bit more of distance to cover, but you all have been great. They come in with a different kind of mindset,
Mhm.
sacrificing. They're always on the clock, always a phone call away. Wherever a need exists, they're ready to bid farewell to their spouses and move along. And then, of course, I have to go back and apologize. But yes, it's been a great experience, and we have a mix, right? We have a mix of civilians, yes, non-military folks, and the military folks. It's a great balance where we get expertise, right, and knowledge and experiences, from a good mix of individuals, and that's just made that has made our team that much more stronger. Yeah, that much stronger.
You talked about the challenges ahead. There is challenges, right? Especially onshoring it back into the United States. Can you talk about the challenges that you're facing and what success is going to look like if we were to sit down a year from now and how you get there?
Okay, all right, good. Challenges, there are many. We're a startup,
Yeah.
and so for a startup, I mean, our challenges I don't think have been that unique from the average startup. But the one that is most prevalent is the need for funding, right? We've never had the amount of funds that we've needed at any given time. By the time I would say that for our project to be where we are, we would have needed maybe a good $25 million in funding. But thus far, it's a little over $50 million plus is what we've received. And so funding has always been a challenge. You're doing something that people don't believe in. They don't think it's possible. People think coal is dying. It's a dying industry. Why invest in that industry? We've heard it all. We've heard it all. Why it's not worth it? Why it's not going to work? Why you cannot do it? Why the political atmosphere, depending on which administration is in office or which party is in office. Why? Yes, all these reasons that people come up with. But all in all, we've been very fortunate to have very committed group of member owners. They're the ones who've made it possible for us to raise the $50 million plus. They've been very, very patient. Some of them have been investors in the company for 10 years plus and have been waiting patiently. And so even as we seek private funding, federal, state funding as well, we've also been blessed with a cryptocurrency or by a cryptocurrency ecosystem called the Ash token. Coal ash ice token and that's a cryptocurrency ecosystem that provides grants to companies with breakthrough innovations, right?
Okay.
That are in the energy space, that are creating jobs, that are generating high margins and helping the environment. Okay. And that is something that, if I can go for a short tangent, some of our team members, we came up with.
Mm.
We came up with that as a way to shift away from traditional funding, traditional project financing, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Because of the very challenges that we envision encountering, that whether state governments or local governments or federal governments and private investors might not be that attuned to you know invest in a project like this, just because of all the political issues, right, surrounding the industry. So we came up with that cryptocurrency ecosystem to kind of fund ourselves and the other innovations that we have in our portfolio. Right. So from the coal ash to mineral fiber innovation to the coal power plant, a greenhouse gas emissions capture solution, and meta fiber, where we take steel waste or steel slag and produce the same fibers that you hear, right? And so that is how we came up with with that cryptocurrency project, so that we can fund these projects and even more
Okay.
as time goes along. So again, our major challenge has been funding, and a year from now, we are looking at least having one full size facility operational here in the U.S., including, well, I guess we have two, have relocated. We are looking to relocate the current facility we have to the U.S. this very year and be operational by the end of the year, hopefully. And then have another facility, full size facility operational as well, somewhere in the US. And so we're speaking with several governments, state governments and local governments on that to see where our final siting or our first US siting will be. Yes.
Fantastic. Well, hopefully it'll be here in Wyoming.
Yes. Well, we are engaged with Wyoming. So yes, yes, yes.
No, it's all great, and it's so encouraging to see people entering the business.
Yes.
When, to your point, the conversation for so long was it's dying, it's going to go away, and I don't even think that is something that is being uttered today. Like, we're
Yes.
here and we're
Yes.
strong, and the
Yes.
innovation is showing that the life of coal is out there for many, many, many decades.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that.
So we like to I like to do fast five questions, just to get to know you a little bit better.
Okay.
So what book are you reading right now?
We leadership by committee.
Lead,
Leadership by committee by Jonathan Johnston. Yes.
okay,
Yes.
okay.
Yes.
What is your favorite thing to do on a relaxing Sunday?
Oh my guys, I've got two daughters. One just turned 18, one is 15. And my favorite thing to do as far as relaxing goes is just sitting with them and hearing them and seeing them, run around and yeah, just be themselves. Yes, in their presence. Yes, yes. They've grown up too quickly, and so I'm trying to make up for time.
That's great. Third question.
Yes.
Uh Favorite vacation spot you've been?
Hmm. I would say Hawaii, but I was stationed there as a Marine, so I wouldn't count that. So it would be Casablanca. Yes.
Casablanca.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh. Yes.
Are you a fan of the movie then?
Not much of the movie. The location, though, yeah, very high on my list. Yes.
All right. And since I asked Casablanca, final question.
Okay.
I'm assuming you've been
The
to a coal mine.
shaking.
I'm assuming you've been to a coal mine. What was the most amazing part about visiting a coal mine?
We visited one in Pennsylvania maybe 6 years ago, and it seems to be a whole town, if you will, right? In a mine. Coal mines are not just some pits or holes, with people, hanging on some lines and things like that, digging out coal. It is a real operation. right? So for me to go there and see how organized, how structured it is, the safety measures, right? Every so many feet, there are safety stations and booths and people driving around and walking around, doing safety checks. So it's like a whole new world, right? It's a world unto itself. And so that really opened my eyes that it's not some deep hole that people are in there, hanging, by some parachutes or something. No, folks, coal mines, try. And for me, it was very eye opening. And, I like to say it more for those who haven't, but are curious, or for those who have maybe misconceptions about coal, and coal, visit a mine. Visit a mine and you see that it is not some mundane operation at all. Yeah.
And I like how you started that, about a community because I don't this industry is about a community, and we're small but mighty. You know how many people are employed by the industry, by the supply chain, but it doesn't matter where you're at, it's a community.
Yes, 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 yes. That's true. I mean, that's true. In a way, is good. I think it's been helped. The sense of community has been helped by the struggles, right,
Mhm.
of the industry or the pressures that the industry has been under, for the few years past. So, but it's something good that has come out of it. And yes, you're right. It's a very strong, well connected community.
Yeah.
Yes.
What is one thing that you want people to know about GCS Fibers that we haven't talked about?
All right. Well, you see, the member owners, because we've raised the funds that we've had through a different method than the traditional bank.
Mhm.
Because as a startup, a bank is going to finance you. So we've spoken with the private equity firms and the hedge funds and all these entities in the past, but we've mostly gone a different route where we've had people come in and Emily, to be able to sit before individuals and hear their dreams, hear how they feel about coal or coal ash and environment or coal power, what they would like to do to help others, right? That is something that is very special. And just like we're saying how the coal mine industry is a community, the GCS member owners, we are such a strong family, believing in making something good, bringing something good to bear, and also being able to help others and bless others with, the proceeds that we are to get from these operations, from GCS Fibers and the other companies that we have. So what's been great for me to see is just how people have come together and we see ourselves, something that people should know, right? About GCS Fibers that we see ourselves as member owners, as management, as leadership, as the board goes, we see ourselves as mere custodians of these set of innovations. Just imagine to be able to turn coal ash into mineral fiber that can be used to manufacture any number of end products, from vehicles to papers to diapers to textiles to building materials, carbon fiber, just what have you, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
And to do it, have this in a safe, non-toxic form, non-cancerous form, only God can grant this blessing, right? And so we see ourselves as mere custodians. And as we're blessed with this, we want to make sure that we also are giving back to the communities that we find ourselves in, with our factories. And so that is the one takeaway or the one insight that, I can share that it's not obvious. That might not be obvious to people from the outside. And so we're all committed to, doing good and being good stewards of this and helping others.
I love it. So I'm going to give you an opportunity I haven't given anybody else to
Hey,
date on this is,
okay.
do you have a question for the Coal Council?
Oh, wow. Emily should have prepped me on this one. I wish you'd to come with a list. Well, you know what? I would say that the core console has been tremendous to us. I mean, it's been a short time since we've been engaged, but what you and your team have done for companies like ourselves, it's beyond words. We are so grateful. And I know I was now sharing that with you the other day. I know your job, your advocacy role is challenging. I know. I know. What I would like to say though is that the members of the core council, the members of the associations or the associates do well to support your cause, right? Should do well to support your cause because it's not easy. There are other associations that we've engaged and we engage with that are not as active. They're not as forward thinking and or they're not as accessible. And so the core council is doing a great job in that regard. And Now, I'm still trying to think of a question to ask you. Okay. But I know your office is here in DC.
Mhm.
If I could, and you might be doing a program here this year, right? Like in DC office?
We're gonna have a fly-in at the week of July 20th.
Okay.
So we'll be hosting a fly-in where members and non-members also can come and sit down with congressional staff and agencies and talk about coal.
Yes. All right. And so that is one event that, my team and I are really looking forward to. And as much as we can support and participate in the other events that you hold around the country, we want to make sure that we're able to do that. But I'll plead with the other stakeholders or the American Coal Council to really do well to support, the activity and the advocacy role that you've taken upon yourselves. It's a tough job. I mean, it is a tough job. And so I wish you well and we'll do our best to support. So still no question,
Still no
but
question.
that means you're doing a great job. Okay. Let's take it as that. Yes.
Well, I appreciate the recognition. Honestly, it's not as hard as it may seem when you represent an industry that you truly believe in. And
Uh,
yeah, so I mean
I get
that
that.
that
Yeah.
yeah, you just
Yes. That
yep,
makes it worth it. I fully understand. I fully
yeah,
understand. It
yeah.
is rather hard. Yes. 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 I understand. I agree with that.
Well, Otto, I know that we're going to get to meet in person soon, and I look forward you're coming to Park City, Utah in August
Yes, ma'am.
to talk about your technology with our membership at the Coal Innovations and Market Strategies Conference. So
Yes,
looking
ma'am.
forward to those interactions coming up and
Ma'am.
sincerely appreciate you having been on the Coal Nation podcast today.
The pleasure is truly mine, Emily. Thank you. Thanks to you and the council as well. And we remain engaged. And to those of us doing things with coal, look, to the coal industry is not over. Okay, coal is not dead, right?
No, not at all.
Yes, there are conscious efforts to slight the impact of coal in the coal industry, but we need to fight back, and we're going to fight back with innovation. Okay, with innovation, and so let's keep that going.
Otto, I can't tell you how much fun it's been to have you on the Coal Nation podcast today, and really want to kind of wrap up giving you the opportunity. How do our listeners get a hold of you? If they want to talk about your technology, they want to talk about what you're doing, how do they get a hold of you?
All right. So we are on social media. We are on the web, of course. They can reach us by on the website. And they can go to our website at www.gcsfibers.com. Also reach us by email at contact, no S at the end, contact@gcsfibers.com. And then by telephone at 571-762-8000. And it's been a pleasure as well. The honor has been mine. Again, thanks to you, your team, and at the council, for all your assistance and all the advocacy role and activities that you've been doing for us, or in the others of the coal industry. Thank you.
Well, it's sure exciting to see what you're doing with coal and the new innovations that are going on. Just as a quick note before we sign off, is the video on YouTube and your socials that shows your product?
Yes. So on our website, our
Okay.
social media handles, and then the videos of the products and the burn
Mhm.
tests that you see, we
Yep.
do some tests of the products. All of that's on the website. Yes.
I think I find it fascinating. So I hope people will go and look at it and
Yes,
see what
ma'am.
you guys are doing. Well,
Yes,
thank you
ma'am.
so much for being on
My
Coal Nation
pleasure.
today.
All right. Thank you. Thank you
You're
as well. All
absolutely.
right.
I'll see you
Okay.
soon.
Thank you for tuning in to Coal Nation, the official podcast of the American Coal Council. Our mission is to share coal's story and showcase its critical role in powering our economy and supporting our way of life. If you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe. The American Coal Council represents members across the entire coal supply chain and advocates tirelessly for our vital industry. There is strength in numbers, and we'd love for you to be part of the conversation. By joining ACC, you gain exclusive access to the latest industry developments, a voice in our work that can benefit your business, and incredible networking opportunities. To learn more, visit www.americancoalcouncil.org. Together, we are shaping the future of coal, and it's exciting. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.